We're going to be starting with the program, and we have a request from our the wait staff here, and let's just give them a round of applause already from Black Hawk Museum and the West Coast Events Group. Their request is if you have a vegetarian or a vegan option, please put your tag in front of your plate so that they can see it. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to introduce our wonderful board chair. And by the way, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Judy Lloyd. I'm the CEO of the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce. And we are so proud to be your host today. I'm going to turn it over right now to our board chair, Brittany Doyle-Riley.
Perfect, thank you. Hi, everyone. Like Judy said, my name is Brittany Doyle-Riley, and I'm the chair of the board for the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce this year. Thank you all so much for coming here today. We're excited for a great event. I have the best role of the entire day because I get to introduce you all to Addison. Addison is a fifth grader at Sycamore Valley Elementary and will be singing the Star Spangled Banner for us today. Here you go. Take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was incredible. Does anybody else have chills? That was incredible. So now we're going to, if you could keep standing, sorry, one more protocol. We have to open a mayor's conference with the Pledge of Allegiance. So Addison and I will lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Back over to you, Judy.
Man, wasn't that fabulous? Let's give Addison another round of applause. She's in the fifth grade at Sycamore Elementary School. She's fabulous. Thank you, Addison, and thank you, Brittany. I have the pleasure right now to introduce you for a very brief welcome to our one of my board members, who I'm very proud to have on my board of directors. His family built this museum, and I think probably all of you who got here early enough probably had a chance to see several of the galleries. So let me just introduce one of our greatest philanthropists in Danville, one of our greatest leaders in Danville. I am so proud to call him a friend. David Baring, please come up.
Thank you very much, Judy. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight, the mayors, the town council members, city council members, business leaders, community leaders. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase the museum to everybody here. I know we've got people from Livermore, Pleasanton, Dublin, Santamone. And just out of curiosity, how many people have never visited the museum or a gallery? More than I expected. I think there's about 50 or 60 of you. How many haven't been here in the last 10 years? And how many haven't been here in the last 2 years? Okay. In this museum now, we've got 5 galleries. I get asked all the time, well, how many automobiles do you have? We have about 50. well, is that all there is to see? I said, no, we've got 5 galleries. We've got one of the greatest Western galleries right above us. We built this 10 years ago. We're going to celebrate the 10th anniversary next year. If you enjoy American history, come visit this. You will see objects you're not going to see anywhere else. If you enjoy Chinese culture and art, I just got done giving a tour about an hour ago. We have a fantastic exhibition. You will see pieces you won't see anywhere else. They are one-of-a-kind sculptures. If you enjoy animals, or your children or your grandchildren do, animals, birds, and fish, we've got 700 of them downstairs. We work with all the schools throughout the Tri-Valley and actually the Bay Area. We are booked right now, I think, until November. We used to be open on Thursdays for schools. All the school kids can come for free. 4th graders, 5th graders, 6th graders. Our demand was so high, we're now open Wednesday and Thursday, and they're booked 3 months out. So we see ourselves as a community asset. That's what my mother and father wanted, to make this museum something special for the Tri-Valley. And our attendance since COVID, we were shut down like everybody else, but we were allowed during that time period to finish the 2 new galleries, China and Natural History. So I just invite everybody, when you get a chance, I know today you got to run back to work, but bring your family over, take a look at what we have, and on your table we've got 4 speakers coming up. This is in honor of my mother, so she endowed this for a number of years. These are high quality photographers and speakers. For anybody that's come before, you know the quality. I mean, these speakers, when you see their photographs, they've all been on the cover of National Geographic. They are extremely well known in their field. One of them was the editor-in-chief for 10 years of National Geographic, and I think his pictures appeared 6 or 7 times on National Geographic. And I hope that in maybe a couple of years, when we do this again, I'll be able to look out into the audience and everybody will be just like Mayor Karen Stepper, who's been here probably 40 times. She brings her family, her relatives. She absolutely loves this museum. She sees how important it is. You know, and again, it's difficult to go into Oakland and San Francisco and fight the traffic and the crime and the parking. Here, you've got everything very accessible. And you got 5 different galleries. So again, just on behalf of our staff here, Pastinos, Gina, the dinner, their lunch that you're going to get today. We do a lot of events, as you see. We've got weddings and everything else coming up over the next couple months. But we want this to be enjoyed by this entire community. So we welcome you to come and visit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Well, I have the honor today of introducing about 80 elected officials, but I'm not going to do them all at once, as you might imagine. We have another way we're going to do that today. I want to first introduce our sponsors for the day, if I could. Of course, the Black Hawk Museum, David Bering and his team. Thank you so much for being our title sponsor. Our community impact sponsors today, Kaiser Permanente. I know Shirlene is here. PG&E. I know we have both Sarah Yole and Claudia Luna here today. The Alameda Alliance for Health. I know we have Michelle Lewis here today. Thank you for being here. Our Gold Rush sponsor, Stanford Healthcare Tri-Valley. And I know we have a great team over there. I know I see Shelby over there, and I know Mark Bellotz is over there, who also serves as a commissioner in Danville, so thank you for being here. Our silver sponsors today from CEMEX, Debbie Wells is here. From Uncle Credit Union, Chung Bothwell, the chair is here. Thank you, Chung. And our bronze benefactors, and I want to say something about this group. So the group is CPC Danville for the Valley. We've got Pastor Tyler here. We have Stephanie Nava here. They do so much to help and support as volunteers. They were here putting all these floor arrangements together earlier. So let's give them a special round of applause if we could. We also have from Hoag Fenton, our moderator for today. The Honorable Catherine Baker is here. From San Ramon Regional Medical Center, Christine Donahoe is here. And last but not least, our Copper community partners, John Muir Health. I know Sharon Jenkins is here. I saw her earlier. The Contra Costa Workforce Development Board, Charles Brown is here. Acasa Senior Care, Tiffany is here. From Joya Yoga, Razi Hazni is here with his team. There we are. From the Boisset Collection, Scott Bigelow. Some of you got treated to some wine tasting, and our wine ambassador, Scott Bigelow, is here. And Scott Bigelow was the ambassador of the year for the Chamber last year. So we're very proud of him. From Coupe Champagne, Ryan Tu is here. That's a non-alcoholic champagne. Very interesting. Y'all should give it a try. Ryan. And from Republic Services, of course, Kimberly Lamb is here. Thank you, Kimberly. Let's go ahead. Oh, there's Christina. Let's go ahead and, if I could, I'm going to introduce my chamber colleagues first. From Dublin, Inga Houston is here. From Pleasanton, James Cooper is here. From Livermore, Sherry Souza. Sherry. From San Ramon, Heidi Keniston Lee. And really, truly, these events would not come together were it not for our chamber partners. I did thank our sponsors earlier, and I apologize that I didn't have my, my lovely assistant. Let's give Christina a round of applause. She's our Vanna White today. So thank you to our sponsors, both of you, both at every level. We're so very proud to have you all here and so very proud to make new friends today for this event. Now, so I said to you that we actually couldn't introduce all the electeds because there's like 80 of them here. So we've got them all up here, but I do want to take a minute to just recognize by your city because that's really, really important. So from the town of Danville, representing the town of Danville, Mayor Karen Stepper is here. From the city of Dublin, you guys win the award. You got the full boat today. All of your council members are here, represented by Mike McCorriston. That's awesome. From the city of Livermore, of course, John Marchand is here. And John Marchand gave me my first Livermorium pin, and I'll never forget it, so I'm really, really proud of that. From the city of Pleasanton, represented by Mayor Carla Brown. From the city of San Ramon, of course, our good friend Dave Hudson. And from the city of Antioch today, we have Mike Barbanica here with us. Regional officials. Look at how many regional officials we have with us today. I do want to name a couple of them. Of course, our county supervisor, David Haubert. And David just got a major award, as I understand it, from the Boy Scouts. So we'll be hearing more about that soon. That's awesome. Congratulations, David. We also have Melissa Hernandez with us from the BART Board. We have Debbie Allen from the BART Board. And you can see all these different wonderful people who decided to join us today. So if all of you who are elected could stand up just for a minute, that would be awesome. Just stand for a minute so everybody... But we're actually not done yet. So our state and federal, okay, we have as our moderator the Honorable Catherine Baker, our former assembly member. We also have Guy Houston, our former assembly member. And then you can see all of the wonderful folks that are here representing Assemblymember Grayson. Michael is here, Jennifer Rizzo with Senator Glazer. You can see them all. Carol Mascali, new to Candace Anderson's staff, and our Tri-Valley partners. So we do a lot of work with Innovation Tri-Valley, with Visit Tri-Valley, East Bay EDA. We're so proud of these relationships. So please, if y'all would just stand for a second, that would be awesome. There we go. And our fiscal sponsor today, I think we have 4 people here from Three Valleys Community Foundation. One is Kelly Bowers, who's our fearless leader as president and CEO. And now it's my opportunity to introduce our moderator for today. You mostly all know her, and for those who don't know her, you're going to love getting to know her. Catherine Baker currently serves as the director of the UC Student and Policy Center in Sacramento. She is a special counsel at Hoag Fenton and a state commissioner on the Fair Political Practices Commission. She has been an amazing role model and friend to almost everyone in this room for many, many years. Catherine Baker.
Thank you, Judy. And let's thank Danville Area Chamber for a beautiful event today. Thank you, Judy, and your team. And we have welcomed just about everybody, so I'm just going to sum it up. We have 4 cities and a town to hear from today. We have a beautiful setting here at the museum, and we have our Tri-Valley home, which we all know and love. Today's program is meant to be informative and to get you out of here on time. So I'm going to go right into it and introduce our panelists, all of whom I'm sure have had a glass of alcohol-free, sugar-free champagne. So this is going to be a very top-notch panel. First, I'd like to welcome our mayor from our home community here that's hosting this event, Mayor Karen Stepper. Come on up, Karen. We'd love to see you. Thank you, Karen. All of the bios are in here now, so we're not doing too much on the way of bios. But thank you, Karen, for coming for our town of Danville. One of the first things I learned when I moved to the Tri-Valley was you better say town of Danville. If you say city, we know you're from out of town. So welcome, Karen. Good to see you. And the Honorable Dave Hudson. Let's give Dave a warm welcome. Great to have you, Dave. I know you're going to keep this very dry, very light-hearted, so we're very grateful to have you here. And also we want to welcome John Marchand. Come from Livermore, please, our oldest wine grape growing region in the entire state of California, and the one that has a name on the periodic table. So that's that Livermorian pen. If you haven't gotten one, John Marchand is the person that you're going to see. He's a great ambassador for Livermore. And then, of course, from my neighbor or hometown for Pleasanton, law firm Hoag Fenton, Carla Brown. I didn't see where you are, Carla, but come on up, Carla. Mayor Carla Brown. Thank you, Carla. Great to have you here. I called it my hometown. I shouldn't, but that's where Hoag Fenton's based. Love to have the lawyers there. And then from my hometown, our rookie mayor, first time at the Tri-Valley Mayor Summit. Let's welcome Mike McCorriston. Mayor McCorriston, come on up. Rookie's not quite the right word. We're going to go easy on you today. This is going to go piece of cake.
Dublin is your home.
Dublin is my hometown. All right, well, a couple of ground rules today. Yes, they've all seen the questions in advance, all 17 of them. No, I will not be asking all 17 questions. They won't all get the same question, but they have had a chance to understand what they're going to be. We're kind of going to move it around a little bit. Second, short answers. I have a hand gesture. It's very polite. If you don't give short answers, land the helicopter. Land the helicopter. And I'm the first one to violate that rule, but I have the microphone whenever I want, so I may interrupt you from time to time. But we want to really get to a lot of information because these folks are here to be informed and to get back to work on time. And then secondly, there is public singing. And it is going to happen right now because it's John Marchand's birthday. So everyone's going to join me. I will not have the microphone by my mouth. 1, 2, 3. All right, we've loosened up a little bit. So now
the secret is out, I see.
The secret is out, and we've
It was just
loosened up a
printed
little
in
bit.
the program.
There could be more public singing, I just want to warn you. But we will have a surprise at the end. Whether it's singing or not, we'll let you know. Okay, so for today's question, I'm going to kick it off to, I did call him the rookie. Normally we start with our hometown chamber mayor, but we're going to start with our newest mayor. This is not his first rodeo coming to the Tri-Valley Mayor Summit, but he was appointed to fill a vacancy when our own Mayor Melissa Hernandez, who I think I heard was here, went to the BART board. And so, Mike, thank you for serving, and thank you for singing. And I want to start the first question with you. And that is, and these are the ones that all of them are going to get to answer. Remember, short answers. You got it. I'm going to lob you a soft one. This one is. I want to know, what are you most excited about for Dublin, and what do you see as its biggest challenge? And I see a whole page of notes over there.
Yeah.
Short answer. And microphone. Don't forget the mic.
Okay. Okay, we on? Great. Yeah, I got a whole page of these things, and I'll tell you, the commerce is very thorough, but I'm not going to read you these notes. I think the most exciting thing we have going, and you'll probably understand why I'm saying this, is our downtown Dublin project. We've got a lot of things going on here, and I'll be very succinct in saying we look at our sister cities, we look at our other folks, and we envy them, and they know it. They got a few good things going on. But we're a newer city. We're looking at something a little different. We're looking at a very large project in downtown that will incorporate or include both our transit centers. We're going to have office space, significant office space. We're going to have retail. We're going to have multifamily housing. This is going to be a really good thing for the long term. It is a long-term project, and we're going through a lot of the master plan work now, and we're looking forward to this, and I know I'm going to be around when this thing really starts to kick in.
Yes, you're very young. I think that won't be an issue. But and just to define that downtown, because it's not as clearly identified as some of of your neighbors here on the table that have their own envies of Dublin, I'm sure. But can you give us where are we talking about in Dublin?
Well, it's kind of near my house, but yeah, it's in the older section where Target is. And so if we were to go from south to north, that would be Dublin Boulevard to Amador Valley, and it will encompass that area. And Target stand, we all know that. They're a good anchor tenant. We have both what's called now a south and north that's going to be combined for the project. But some stats really quick. We have 275,000 square feet of retail. We're going to have about 500,000 plus in research development, office, life science office space, and we're going to have more than 1,500 square feet of, 1,500 multifamily units. A good portion of those are going to be affordable housing as well.
Great. So housing, retail, mixed use in that part of Dublin. Quickly, just be candid. What's the biggest challenge for Dublin right now?
For all of us, it's no different than Dublin, and that's affordable housing.
Okay.
We all have our own strategies.
We're going to talk about them.
We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to go into it. And
Yep.
we have our own strategy for that would be our
Housing.
major- Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, now to our hometown mayor that is hosting this chamber here today. And of course, Danville, the town, rotates their mayor. And we are grateful that Karen is in the rotation this year. So what are you most excited about for Danville, and what's the biggest candid challenge?
Okay, thank you very much for telling us that you're here to be part of our community, because that's our message today. We are always being asked, how do you keep the character of Danville, as we have so many things changed in the state. So when I say what are we advocating for that's going to make that even better for you to be in Danville and to be part of our community, is the downtown plan, not too different from what he was talking about down at the end of the table. But it's
That's Mike.
5 different intersections that are going to be redone in our town, and to make sure that you are safe when you're walking and shopping downtown. We have these bulb outs and bollards that are coming out to make it shorter distance. We have raised intersections. We have 2 stages we're putting in, all kinds of things that we think are going to help our business community. Now, in terms of the challenge, okay, well, the challenge is a little, there's a lot of different things, but I can tell you what I get stopped on every day when I'm down at Starbucks, okay? So watching their intersection, our major intersections, see how the kids are doing with all the different kinds of bikes, see how our police are dealing with the e-bikes of 3, and I just did a town talks on that last week. So it is a challenge to be keeping us safe, and I know everyone up here probably has a story already about someone that's been hurt on one of these. So we just passed a law to say we can't ride on the sidewalk with the e-bikes, the e-bike class 3 at any rate, and the scooters, you all know, is already a state law. So our parents and our families are starting the school year with lessons on how this happens, and I'm hoping if we get a skate park someday, we will also have lessons over there, because when kids get a warning, and I ran into some the other day, and it's pretty scary when you're a kid and you get a warning from the police department, and they call your parent and say, come pick up your kid's scooter because you don't understand the rules yet and you're not old enough. We're going to take that on, and I hope we're going to take it on with the 5 cities that are here to some extent, because if we have different rules, the kids will be unsure what the rules are. This is an exciting time for these kids, so I'm hoping that we'll all work together on that. Thank you.
I am too, because now I'm scared to death of intersections in Danville. But I do know, I'm teasing, it is a beautiful downtown that we're going to be safe in, whatever bike we're riding, and good to know that, look, it's a pro and it's a con. It's a challenge and it's a good thing, so thank you. That is, and going down the 680 corridor now, Mayor Hudson, remember, we're landing the plane. What are you most excited about in San Ramon, especially after all these years of your great service, and what is the candid challenge? Not what's the strength, how detailed I am.
It's the city center. I personally want to rename it in memory of Mike Szymanski, because for so many years, he kept asking me, where's downtown San Ramon? Well, Mike, it's the one with all the people in it right now. And I'm most proud of the overpass that we're doing over Bollinger on the Iron Horse Trail, because I've been connected to the Iron Horse Trail since I first got into politics. And how's that for brief?
That's pretty good. I like that. So the challenge, what is, don't turn a strength into here, this is my weakest thing, but what is really a concern or challenge?
Well, it's the same thing with everybody. It's traffic, and when we get that overpass in there, it's like taking away 4 hours of stops at a red light. And unfortunately, for any of you that think you're going to come to a meeting at City Hall to talk to me at public comment, we're going to close Bollinger Canyon Road for 7 or 8 days, well, even more, but just in September. It won't be as bad as Crow Canyon.
Okay.
But the best part about that is I got all the calls I got were from the council members in Danville that said, when are you going to finish that? And I go, well, they're not calling me, so what's my problem?
Give him Karen's cell phone number. We can announce that at the end of this program, and maybe all the Danville Town Council members. But okay, good to know about San Ramon. Thank you. Going down to the 680 corridor, I'm gonna hop over once to Carla. I want to make sure, Carla, you let us know what are you excited about in Pleasanton, and what's the challenge? Candid challenge.
Part of the excitement is even knowing what order you're asking these questions
I'm trying.
in.
I'm just going to keep you going, keep you on your toes.
So let me start by saying I know where my downtown is, and it's called Main Street, but I'll also offer that the 5 of us are friends. We've traveled together. We're welcoming Mike as a new member of this little group of 5, and we miss Melissa, of course. She's been a terrific mayor to work with as well. I'm excited because we're finally getting a Costco. Yes, you share a Costco, you have a Costco, and we will eventually get a Costco this fall. I know, hands up.
Fall.
Yes,
it's on the calendar.
We're estimating about $1 million a year in tax revenue, which is huge for our city. So that's going to be a really big, I know you want one, right? But you got 2 targets, so you're good. So we're also working on a downtown if anybody comes to Pleasanton for Concert in the Park, it's extremely fun. It's outdoors, it's free, and we're going to get a new bandstand. We're working on that for next year. So those are some big things that we're very proud and looking forward to. Challenges, to be honest with you, there's some fiscal challenges in the city of Pleasanton. Things like the term asset management. Wonderful that you have this beautiful sports park, but what happens when the all-weather turf wears out? Do you have the money set aside? When you need a new fire truck for $1.4 million, you don't just open your checkbook and say, I want another one. Where's the money? So these are things that the city of Pleasanton is working to fund. We have 300 miles of drinking water pipe. We're a 130-year-old city. Yeah, babe, you're only 40 years old. So at 130 years old, things are starting to wear out. So we need to set money aside. This is part of our fiscal programs going forward. And so those are my challenges.
Yep.
But we've got a lot of fun things come. 680, Costco, later this year in the fall.
Okay, I've seen that. So many options in the Tri-Valley for purchasing your mass quantity of toilet paper. You'll have Livermore. Danville, although the gas station is in San Ramon. Am I getting that right? Yeah, you're proud of that. And then we'll have it for Pleasanton as well. Okay, and then John, birthday boy, which we're going to remind you of today. We'll even ask again how old you are potentially later. Livermore, what's going great? What's the challenge?
Okay, so first thing I'm really excited about is Springtown. We created an 85-acre open space in Springtown. We took out the golf course, which was losing an incredible amount of money.
John, can you tell folks who are not in Livermore where Springtown is?
Oh, Springtown is in the north side of 580. And it's established community. It started out as sort of a senior community, had a golf course, 9-hole golf course, and we eventually closed it down. But now it's an opportunity for everybody to enjoy that open space. And we're putting in multi-use fields. We're putting in an 18-hole disc golf sort of playground, if you will. We've got sports courts. We've got pickleball is going to be out there. So it's a really exciting opportunity to transform this area and allow everybody to participate in this 85 acres. We've also got, so in our award-winning downtown, we have...
We got an award too.
Yes, well, I was directing that to Michael, actually. But so in our award-winning downtown, one of the biggest complaints has been, and one of the biggest challenges, was parking. So we're going to be opening up our new L Street parking garage. In the whole downtown renovation, we have never had less parking than we started with. So the idea that we can continue to have people coming to the downtown to enjoy the downtown. It's got 452 spaces. It's going to have real-time parking availability, so you can go on a phone app and find out where you can park in the downtown. Blacksmith Square, our beloved Blacksmith Square, which later became a muffler shop.
Right downtown.
Yeah, working with different horsepower, but now we've got a wonderful site there with restaurants and shopping. The expansion has started for Blacksmith Square. That's going to be really a transformative addition to our downtown. Flagpole Plaza, where everybody comes together, where all the roads meet. Yes, bring it in home. Where all the roads meet, Flagpole Plaza is going to be renovated, and again, recreating and restoring that award-winning downtown, so that bringing every people in to enjoy it.
Thank you. Lots of good things about our downtowns. And actually, Mayor McCorston, you mentioned the work that Dublin is going to be doing in downtown. We're going to switch now to a little bit more on jobs and economy. And one of the projects, actually, as I was walking up here, because I am a Dublin resident, that folks asked me about is what's happening off of Tassajara in what's previously what I used to call the DeMonto property, and the construction that's there, and what is going on with the debate about a road between you and Livermore. And I wonder if you can, I might even give you a little extra time. So what's happening on Tassajara?
I got to find my notes on that one.
That's right. What's happening on Tassajara? Tell the team here as we drive by.
Tassajara, formerly the SCS property. We've got, there are four or five parcels. So we've got a lot going on. They're starting to grade a couple of parcels there for future development. And long story short is we have a major project that has a lot of folks in the room here have been part of over the years that will include a square, a lot of housing.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. That's a dangerous word.
That's a dangerous way to say that.
Good housing for folks. There will be commercial businesses, and I don't know, somebody mentioned something about golf or something. We might even have Top Golf there.
Oh, golf in Dublin. Okay, in addition to Dublin Ranch.
So
okay.
we're going. It's a major project. It's on the way now. We're seeing some progress.
More mixed use, and that's off of Tassajara, north of 580. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing that, again, this is one of those questions they were not briefed on in advance, but when you're walking into this building, and I'm asked 3 times, I've got to ask you, and then I'll let John weigh in on it as well. There's a ballot measure in Dublin on regarding property in a road connecting to Livermore. Can you give us, knowing that, here I am a FABC commissioner, please don't electioneer, I know you won't do that here, but what is the issue there? What are people going to be asked to vote on there, on that area?
In very simple terms,
Mic right by your mouth, right?
I will do this as simply as I can without infringing on other people's. We'll give the respect to everybody in the room who's affiliated with that. But it will basically allow the city council to evaluate at some future point whether or not they want to develop a certain portion of land. Now, just to give you context, we're talking about an extension that's 1.5 miles long, and the ballot measure, and there are actually 2 ballot measures, and we're just going to go with this one ballot measure right now. Okay? There, now everybody can hear me. And this particular one, that's the big juicy one that everybody's looking at right now, is it basically gives, as I said, council the authority to evaluate for future development. There are some conditions with that. It has to show that it will be able to be practical and fund some of the ongoing costs and construction costs for the road. But I digress for a moment and just say that what we're talking about is 1.5 miles in total. The area of this ballot measure really focuses on that last half mile that links our sister city here, Livermore, together.
Okay.
Yes.
So linking the 2 cities, which as long as I've been in the Tri-Valley, that's been part of the discussion. John, can you say a little bit about what impact this could have on Livermore and the Tri-Valley transportation generally from your perspective?
So one of the reasons that we've talked about this for a number of years is the idea of creating another east-west connection. We all understand that 580 jams up multiple times during the day. So the idea, we have Stone Ridge connects the 2 cities south of 580. This is going to be a connection north of 580. So when 580 is gridlock, we've got another connection. But one of Livermore's interests is to ensure that we can continue to keep an open space between our 2 cities, and that we don't become like the peninsula and you can't tell when you leave one city and go into another. So Livermore's interest is to maintain that open space, but I'll give you a little plug here. The traffic on 580 we anticipate to drop once Valley Link is brought in. And once Valley Link comes in and
this is a drinking game again this year, although it is non-alcoholic champagne, but thank you.
20,000 cars off the road, and it'll improve the traffic there as well. But that's Livermore's interest is to maintain that open space between our 2 communities.
Very good. So this is something that does impact the entire Tri-Valley because of the traffic patterns it can have. It is on the Dublin ballot, not on the Livermore ballot, from what I understand, and Valley Link is more important. That's what I took away from this one. All right, great. So now I'd also like to talk a little bit about other areas of economic development and your collaboration and your competition with each other. So when Dave, you gave a great state of the city earlier this year, and you talked about some of the fees that San Ramon has, and you put up a great chart. I'd like to know a little bit about how long does it take for a business to get approved in San Ramon? And are you competing with your colleagues here at the table, or is it all pretty similar so that any one of these great towns and cities would be part of it?
Isn't this a wonderful question to ask the mayor that just lost Chevron?
I wasn't going to say it, but it wasn't because of San Ramon.
No, and we all have pretty much the same competitive fees, and we know what it is. Where it really gets nasty is when you start looking at other stuff like the regional fees. I mean, you compare what we charge compared to what somebody has to pay for the air district like Richmond on a refinery, and there's no contest. I mean, it's not competitive when you can go somewhere else and not pay that. And therein lies the problem. You don't have to stay in California. But we care about every one of our business. We'll do what it takes to keep them here. Unfortunately, on this one, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, one of our biggest employers, but they were not poking the eye of San Ramon on that one. Karen, can you tell us what Danville does to help keep the businesses and attract the businesses to Danville? I know you've got the wonderful downtown, but there's businesses outside of the downtown as well. So what is Danville doing in that?
Well, one of our new programs in Danville is called Prospector, and the other one's called Pioneer, and these are online things that will help people that are trying to come to Danville to understand where they can locate. The Prospector one is the one that's generating things for our businesses. They can come in and look up what's available, what space do they need to get a little bit smaller because they're a smaller store and they need to branch out. They could go the other direction and see spaces that are there and look at them. And of course, they can call somebody on staff that can help them go through this. But there's an amazing amount of information. This is a brand new program that hit the Brooks. And I said, there's one for homes because, you know, when your business is there, we want you to live in Danville too, because we know everyone says they want to live in Danville. That's from Danville, at least. So we have 5 cities here that all have their own character, and keeping that character is a real part of the businesses and getting them downtown. So although that's one of the plans, I would say that the housing things that we've been facing this year are also making a difference in what's going to happen with our population and hopefully bring more business to the businesses themselves. And not only do they discuss these at the chamber and the chamber meetings, but they have interesting things like the chamber has this new program, Women's Initiative, that helps train our new businesses that come into town. Especially, it sounds like it's only women, but I think anybody can come into this program and get to know each other, so who they can cooperate next door. You need that collaboration to build your business when you're the new one on the block. And especially with a lot of our events coming up, you know, the lighting of the oak tree. Maybe some of you come to ours as well as yours, but we're trying to light the town this year a little bit better, have a little more competition, and it's a fun thing. But those activities are important, but the collaboration that brings the businesses to work together is probably the most important part of building community in Danville.
That's a good free plug for the Women's Initiative that the Danville Chamber is doing. So raise your hand if you are aware of this program, you've come to it. Wow, that is a lot of people. So great plug, Mayor Stepper. I'm going to go to Mayor Carla Brown on this one. What Pleasanton is doing, you got this, you know this answer because Pleasanton does a lot, to help businesses in the downtown, but also not in the downtown. That's one of the things to remember. You've got a great downtown, but you've got businesses outside there. What's Pleasanton doing?
Good. I was glad you didn't change the question because I wanted to answer that question.
I saw you were holding on to that mic for dear life, so yes.
I am ready. I am ready. So just to give you a proportion, our population's about 75,000, and we have 60,000 jobs. That's a job-rich community. And when we look at those really fresh entrepreneurs, we have 4,400 small businesses in this population, about 75, and they employ 26,000 people. We are a job center, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you, James Cooper from the Chamber of Commerce, and also Hacienda, our local business park. But if you want a business license, you can come into the city of Pleasanton, and you can walk the hot thing right now. And are you ready? In 3 years, it's the fastest growing companies out of the 5,000 listed nationally, and it grew 13,000%. Don't you want to invest in that company? And then the other one I want to highlight is called Sandbox VR, and it also grew 2,000% in 3 years. We are an incubator. We're very proud of being friendly for small business startups. We're going to continue to support those businesses, and I'm not going to be competitive up here, but we are the place to go. There you go.
Friendly competition, that was a nice way to say it. Kill them with kindness, which is great. John, what about Livermore?
Well, I'm glad you're not competitive. So one of the things, I think one of the most important things that we do as the council members is we have to create a place where people want to be. Whether they want to work there, they want to play there, they want to live there. So creating those inviting spaces, that environment that's going to encourage investment, you have to strategically invest in your community so that people want to be there. Then they also need an educated workforce. They need a place to live, to be. So this is the collaboration that we have with the chamber is very important. I sit on the chamber board. So I am able to provide city insights, and there's this conversation between the two of us so that we have a great understanding of what the businesses need and what the city can provide. One of the other things that we've started up is we have our business spotlight video, where we go to the businesses and we highlight these businesses that are working in our community. There is work that is being done in Livermore that can be done nowhere else on earth.
So how does a business get to do that video? How do they get them to say, hey, come and do this do this video with us?
Contact my economic development department, and we will be out there.
I thought you were going to give your cell number. That's the most important.
No.
Personal cell phone.
Economic development, because they know what they're doing, and I'll just refer, when they call me, I'll just refer them to economic development.
Okay, fair. All good, good. All right, we're going to start turning your binder pages to crime and punishment. That is where we are going next. So I know that every city and town on this dais is going to say, we are the safest, we've won the award, we're the best place to be in the entire country, which is true. But we also know that crime happens in our local community, and I'd like to visit with you about what is happening in our local town, and even what you're seeing in the Tri-Valley, and what are you doing about it? What either trends are happening, what are you doing about it? Dave, can you share with us what crime are we seeing? Is it primarily retail? Is it smash and grabs? Last year, that's what we talked about.
Well, we're trying to be a little proactive and keep from getting more smash and grabs because we had the issue with Heller Jewelers, but Santa Monica got a grant for a retail theft task force, and now the good news is we got the grant to get it going, but the bad news is you got to have the revenue coming in to keep it going. Because I don't think they're going to give us 2 grants in a row, but you just have to be proactive on these. You can't say enough about the police on these issues. If they're trained to take care of it and you can avoid it, that's the best thing there is. People, I mean, John nailed it. You have to have a place that you want to go to. And if you have a place where there's theft and safety isn't there, you're not going to go to it. And I'd just like to say, Carla, not having you next to me or Melissa next to me makes it rough when I start stammering. You guys would keep me in line. But I really hope that the next council, because I won't be on it, can find a way to get the revenue to keep this task force going, because they're worth their weight in gold.
Okay, well, that'll be a good test to see, not only for the next council, but just of that type of a task force going forward. So, Dublin, what's happening in my hometown in crime, and what is the city doing about it?
Okay, so what we're seeing with everybody around here, and Dublin's no different, is it's retail theft. And I'm not going to sit up here and mask anything. Everywhere the numbers are going up, and I got a good look at what they were. What are we doing? Well, first of all, what we're also seeing, and it might be a relevant stat or not, is that more than 90% of these incidences are being perpetrated by people outside of our city.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're coming from our neighboring cities, but that's a fact, okay? And what we're doing, you know, we're not just throwing, we have a very effective public safety, our police department, very, very effective. That's not enough. We're also doing, as part of a larger strategy, we're investing in technology, drones, readers, and they have actually come in handy. So yeah, we're working with the crime prevention and the crime loss folks and all the retails, and that's what everybody's doing. We're getting some recoveries. It's not enough. I think I will say though that hopefully everybody here understands the need for further legislation in this area that we anticipate will help us in many areas, and we know that Prop 36 is coming out there. So I'm not going to get political. I'm just throwing that out there. There's some things that we're anticipating will help as well.
That, by the way, when you mentioned that, you said, I'm not going to get political, but Prop 36, Dave Hudson had a twinkle in his eye that came right away. We will get towards the end a little bit about what the measures are at the state level that are going to affect the Tri-Valley, but thank you for that. Carla, can you share with us just quickly what, and particularly different from last year perhaps, but what is the top crime that we're seeing in the Pleasanton area, and what's the city doing about it?
Well, we're really proud of the work that was done for catalytic converters. Remember last year, everybody was stealing catalytic converters. Well, we worked with the Alameda County, thank you county supervisors that are here, as well as the city of Livermore, to find out where these catalytic converters were who was taking them. We found it, we found the bulk of them, and I'm really proud of that. Working together is our power. For example, we don't have a drone system, Alameda County Sheriff's does. So working together, we're able to solve much of this crime, but absolutely property crime is top of the list.
Okay, got it. Yes, you can, Karen. Say one quick thing about public safety. you want my mic or yours? I'm keeping mine. You got
I
to take
use
your
mine
own.
this time, thank you. I just wanted to point out to all of you that we have a 10-8 program on Wednesdays from 5 to 8. It's been going for years. It's run by our police chief. He tells you every crime that's happening in that entire week, where it is, what we're doing, how they're catching the bad guys. They're doing it still through the the license plate readers. We catch a lot of people before they ever leave town, and if they have left town, like recently, and they went to Pleasanton helped us catch them and bring them back. So, you know what? We do cooperate a great deal, and that's probably one of the best ways you can keep up on what's going on the retail thefts, and the people who think that don't put it in your car means put it in your car and leave the windows open. I don't know. So we try really hard to educate people what it is, and that program is fantastic.
Good. I love that. You can keep the microphone. I'm going to keep my own, and that's good. Thank you. All right. That is actually great information that you can get. Sometimes we can get it in the paper if you still get a paper or see it online, but good to see that you can get those statistics. I'm going to take a switch now. We did a little bit on crime, we did a little bit on job, and what we're most excited about, housing. Many of you mentioned housing as an issue. And so there was a housing ballot measure for the region that was going to be on our ballot this last cycle. And I have two questions for you on this. It's been taken off of the ballot. Is that going to be damaging to the Tri-Valley or your city, or is that okay? Because money was going to be spent. And what I was concerned about is that most of that money was going to come from the Tri-Valley and go somewhere else. So on that issue, that's my first question about the housing measure. Is it a harm to us that that housing measure isn't happening this cycle? And Dave, you grab the microphone right away. I'm not going to get in your way.
The answer is no.
Okay.
It was not going to pass. I mean, it's like, just give me your wallet and your credit cards and whatever code you have, and I'll let you know when I'm finished. But, I mean, there is a need for affordable housing. The best thing that the cities in the Tri-Valley did was get me off of ABAG on the appeal process. Because it's tougher to do this than people realize. I had somebody at the table was asking what's going to happen in Danville at the Burrell property. When I said housing, it was like, yeah, I mean, try and stop it. This state would tear down Costco to put housing in there.
Not in the Tri-Valley. There are 3 coming our way, so that is important. But thank you. So it wouldn't actually hurt us. John, any thoughts on that ballot measure? And if we're not going to have that funding, what is the Tri-Valley doing together to help solve the housing problem?
Well, so 6 years ago, I passed a 130 unit affordable housing project in Livermore, and we're still trying to get that through the California courts.
Okay.
In fact, today it was in court, and I was hoping I'd get an early birthday present, but no, they're going to continue that.
Well, we did sing to you, so that's important.
So I was still working on that. But so Livermore is doing the best. We just approved almost 1,300 units in the Isabel Neighborhood Specific Plan, and we've got in the whole Isabel Neighborhood Specific Plan, we've got over 1,000 units of affordable housing. And by the way, affordable housing is $120,000 a year in the Tri-Valley. So it takes a lot of money to be poor in the Tri-Valley. So Livermore is doing the best we can in this 1,300 units that we just approved. There's over 300 units of affordable housing.
Okay.
So that we can bring in that workforce to support the businesses that we have here.
Okay, so housing is getting approved at the city council level, and then we don't see it happen 6, 8, 10 years later. Anything else? What are you as mayors advocating for? As a collective Tri-Valley set of leaders, what are you pushing for to change that?
We need funding if it's going to happen, because the low and very low income housing requires significant subsidies. And,
Okay.
and by the way, I'll put this pitch out there. Yeah, we heard from the governor that he wanted to build 3.5 million new housing units. So where is the water coming from? Where are they going to be building the new water infrastructure? Because if we're going to be putting in housing, people are afraid of their current quality of life being degraded. Well, if we continue to add housing and we don't add more water, people's lifestyles are going to be degraded.
Okay, so Karen, I want you to grab that mic again.
Okay.
Hold on. Danville housing.
Danville Housing.
What are you advocating for in Danville to make sure that housing is happening, which affects the entire Tri-Valley?
Just a clarification for all of us. It is something that was different this year because it has to be housing that can be done in the next cycle. So it's not something you can wait years into the future like it used to
No,
be
you
for
can't.
it to happen.
Right.
But towns don't build these rooms, these houses, these apartments. They're built by the developers. Some of them are in the audience here. We have three places right now looking at becoming senior housing, which is what we need. And we appreciate the fact that we finally have some say in what that is, because a lot of it is being generated at the state level. The other one right now is the old town offices, since most of you are aware a year ago that we moved to new offices next door for where we used to be, and that's going to end up going for below market rate housing. The Foz property, which everyone gets mad when I call it that, but I'll probably call it that till I die because that's what it was for so long.
The area that was the restaurant.
It's condos, and it's going to be 37 condos. That was his retirement plan. People say, well, why are you doing that? Why did you cut down those trees? We don't own it. The developers do this, and they're doing a fine job because almost all the developers in Danville that have projects, and I have a list of about 12 that are being proposed, are people who know Danville. They live there, they've worked there, they've built other things. That helps us keep the character of Danville regardless of what the state's doing, so do that strongly.
Got it. Thank you. You can keep it. I swear that gets to be yours. Carla, housing in Pleasanton. Then we're going to move on and close up.
Yep, housing in Pleasanton. Stone Ridge Mall, as you know, has lost some of its anchor stores. And in our last regional housing needs allocation, it's an 8-year program, we zoned for 6,000 housing units. We want housing units. There's only so much we control. We don't control interest rates. We don't control builder developers, as you stated earlier, but we definitely are working hard to fulfill our requirements for housing. We're also seeing some land that was originally zoned for businesses asking for conversion to residential real estate. So this will be a big shift. But what the biggest change you'll see is going to be at the Stone Ridge Mall, as we have zoned much of the land in the parking lot area, perimeter, and adjacent to that mall. You're going to start seeing housing out there. It'll be exciting. It will be reimagined. It's true transit-oriented development. It's right by Highway 580, 680, and a BART station.
And someday
so
Valley
we're excited
Link,
about it.
drinking game, Valley Link will someday be along that corridor. Before you put the microphone
Perhaps.
down, can you tell us, so I've seen in the headlines that there's delays in the project. What do you think is the time frame that we can expect to see that reinvigoration of the Stone Ridge area? And is the delay something the city can help with?
Well, we put a lot of pressure on the landowners. There is not a single landowner, parcel owner at the Stone Ridge Mall. There's 5. So you got to get 5 business people who all want to make money off this project to work together. So the city council put a lot of pressure on the 5 landowners to, Simon's going to throw $50,000 in just to get it started. We want to see a project there. We want to revitalize our Stone Ridge Mall. It used to be a wonderful revenue source for us. It's time to bring it back. So I'm excited. Time frame, it's only so much things I have control over, but I think you'll start seeing things in the next year to 2 years.
Okay, in the meantime, keep going to Costco.
Yeah.
One of the 3 that will be in the Tri-Valley, but I know we'll have a new one here soon. And I want to switch right now to a question about infrastructure before we close out. Sorry, Dave, you're not getting the housing question. I know where we would go with that. So we talked last year about water. I know a lot's going on in Pleasanton with water and PFAS. Before we go to any updates on that from Pleasanton, which of these, raise your hand if your city has got a major water infrastructure project, and what are you doing about it? Before I give to Carla for where they're at. Where's our water infrastructure in your community? I see one hand voluntarily raised. All right, Carla, you get it. You get it.
All right. So the city of Pleasanton distributes water. We send out the water bills. We have 300 miles of water pipe. Much of it is over 65 years old. That's how long a water pipe lasts, 65 years. So as we're going through and we're checking out all this pipe, saying what needs to be replaced, it's part of asset management, setting money aside. We just passed a water rate increase. We're still the lowest water per unit in the valley. We're still the lowest priced. We just approved $12.8 million of water repairs. It's going to be replacing pipe for infrastructure pinch points, as well as adding pumps. We shut down our 3 wells because all 3 tested with PFAS. We shut them down way earlier than we need to, out of being proactive in the ultimate of protecting our residents from any kind of perceived contamination or contamination. So we're working hard on water. It's one of our biggest reasons, and part of the reason we're going to the ballot for the half-cent sales tax called Measure PP.
Okay, PP for water. There's no joke there
Pennies
that I can make.
No. Pennies for Pleasanton.
Okay, you pennies for Pleasanton is fine. I hear PP for water in Pleasanton, but whatever works. Before we close out with our surprise, I do want to talk money. We've adding up money. The state is short of it, and there's a ballot measure that's being talked about for infrastructure in the entire Bay Area, not this cycle, but the next one. And some of your towns, Pleasanton's got a tax measure, I believe, on its ballot. So you don't get this question, Carla, but the other cities. Where are your budgets? Where are you financially? So if we're coming back next year, are you going to be okay? And do you see in your future a potential need for a ballot measure to fund what's happening in your cities? We've talked about some great projects here today. What's happening with your budget? All right, Dave, you grabbed first. You got the microphone first.
We don't have a potential measure coming. It's on the ballot. And I had something happen I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. Residents came together and said, we want the city to not lose any of what we have. We want you to put a 1% sales tax on the measure, on the ballot. I mean, citizens came to us. We didn't go to them. So it's going on the ballot this year, measure in, and without it, I don't know how we're going to make these shortfalls on the revenue, but then I won't have to worry about it next year.
I'm hearing that theme. That weight is lifted. We're going to get to that in a minute, Dave. So Measure N, different from PP for water in Pleasanton. We're never going to live that one down. Karen, budgets in Danville, and is there a potential tax measure that could be coming up in the next cycle or two that people need to brace themselves for?
So Danville has always got a balanced budget. We don't spend what we don't have. We have a 43% reserve. However, our infrastructure is getting older, as you heard from some of these other cities. And the thing that has not been changed over in 20 years is the LLID, which is the thing that everyone individually supports to have lights in Danville, street lights and parks and roads. So at some point that we will be looking at how to do that, whether it'll be on a ballot or a different way. It would be a parcel. The other thing that's out there that I think will happen someday is Valley Link. You all probably
Drinking game.
You all know what Valley Link is, so it's going across the Ultimate. Why does Danville have a seat at the table is what I'm asked.
Because I put that there, but
Because
that's
it is
okay.
absolutely critical that the people that work in several different restaurant jobs or businesses can get home at night and see their kids and coach their soccer games, because that's my background. So you have to make sure that you can get across the Altamont Pass, and that's going to come up. We're now looking at 28 to see that train, and that'll make a big difference in people's lives, not only there across the Altamont, but in Danville. So we're
Thank
glad
you
to
for
be
that
a part.
plug for the #1 transportation infrastructure project. You can keep that microphone and take it home. That gets to be yours, Karen. I know, it's no fun. There's no ribbon. So infrastructure, your budgets. Dublin, resident, what am I going to be looking for on my ballot? Where are you financially given what's happening with the state?
Okay, I want to make this perfectly clear. We are not raising taxes. So
Okay.
you can all
Landed
move to
that.
Dublin.
Well,
All right. Actually, we have done a super fiscal job over the years. Our surpluses are there, and I won't go on because I know there are other challenges that other cities have. But we've done a very good. We've done very well over the years. Okay, and I just want to say that there may be some initiatives down the road as we do the Dublin extension and everything else. We may look at the capital markets. But we're doing okay.
Gotcha.
You got it.
You heard it from him here today. Everything's fine, but hopefully there'll be some looking at some of those infrastructure investments that'll need to be made in the future. Okay,
Yeah.
John, you've got the mic. You don't get to take yours home, but here you go.
Oh, dang. It's my birthday. Don't have the mic? Sorry. So, I started out in the water industry as a water chemist. So with water industry infrastructure, you have to have what's called a renewal and replacement allowance built into the water rate. And that's something that did a lot of training around the state. And that's something that I came in with the city, is you have to be able to fund your long-term assets, because someday you're going to have to replace them. Now, I have frequently heard complaints from people that some rates in other cities are cheaper than Livermore's are. Well, there's a reason for that, because we're maintaining that renewal and replacement component so that when the assets wear out, we can replace them. So it's a long-term asset strategy. When I came on board, our OPEB, other post-employment benefits, was $100 million underfunded.
That's pension, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pension.
Okay.
So we were underfunded about $100 million. Since 2015, we've been paying that back, and we have reduced that liability over $60 million. So we are catching up on this. It's interesting. So in this 1,200 units that I was talking about in the Neighborhood Specific Plan, some of the fees that we collect in the city of Livermore are pass-through fees. For example, the Zone 7 fee. I know, I got it. So it turns out that
Well, John, I heard it's
Zone 7
interesting, specific plan and Zone 7 fees.
Right, and so the Zone 7 fees for this development are actually more than the city of Livermore is collecting.
They're
for the
going to
entire
love that you
development.
pointed that out here.
Yeah.
So, okay. Infrastructure.
We just collect that.
Thank you. And it's no small deal to deal with your pension problems and your pension debt. I know Dublin had that for some years. Pleasanton had it for some years. Every city here has had to deal with it at different times. I'm closing out.
Yeah. No, if that's it, no, go.
I know it's your birthday. But we have a mayor here, not just a brand new mayor to the Tri-Valley Mayor Summit, but somebody whose last time as being our Mayor Summit representative is happening. And I wanted to take a personal point of privilege as the moderator with the microphone, although Karen's really been competing with me most of this time, to say a little bit about Dave. Dave, first of all, I've never seen a person with more energy to serve on more boards and commissions, that he does not just phone it in, he did his homework on every single one of those boards and commissions. He asked great questions, and he gave input on behalf of not just San Ramon, but the entire Tri-Valley, in a part of the country that's one of the most populated countries, one of the most populated parts of the country in the world. One of the most populated places in the world. And he did that in a way that affected our quality of life for decades. And even in the face of health challenges during this last tenure as mayor, he has given every single measure of energy you could possibly imagine. We all know that. And when I think of Dave Hudson, one of the things I think of is someone walking in my very first campaign office in a sweaty shirt, because he'd gone out all around San Ramon all day long and put up yard signs. He knew exactly where to put them up, and he knew not to violate the rules, and he spent all day in the summer putting them up. And he came in my office, sweaty, and he said, he didn't say I'm not done for the day. He said, I need another stack. I'm going back out. He's done that for our community for decades. And I'm not the only one who wants to thank you, Dave. There are people here on this dais and in this room who want to thank you, and I'd like you to cue up the video that is for you. Here we go.
Hey Dave, it's Judy Lloyd coming at you from the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of myself and all of my colleagues from the Tri-Valley Chamber Alliance, we want to wish you and Barbara the very best of luck in your retirement. I have sure enjoyed working with you over the years, and here's a few thoughts from some of your colleagues.
Dave, thank you for your leadership. You've been the go-to guy in San Ramon for some time. Your public service career is impressive. I've had the pleasure of getting to know you and your wife over the last few years, usually at some fun civic event. You've experienced many events over your years in public service. A couple that...
Not enough memory.
Just buffering, that's all.
Remember that face.
We're going to get our cameras out for it. We may have to send it to you all.
No, don't take a picture.
Well, by the way, the sweaty, please get at your phone. By the way, the sweaty shirt image now is now this one that I will have in my mind for some time.
Facebook.
Well, Dave, you had some great Valley leaders who have worked with you for years. They're at this table. They're all throughout this room. They are on boards and commissions across the entire Bay Area who know the impact that you have made. And I think we all want to stand up and give you a warm and loving thank you for your service to our area.
Thank you.
We can't think of a better way to send you off from the Tri-Valley Mayor's Summit than a standing ovation. And let's, as you're getting back seated, thank everyone for taking the time to go through this afternoon, answer their questions about their cities, and for working together as Tri-Valley leaders for our entire Tri-Valley area. With that, I'm going to turn it over back to Judy and also point out that we'll get that video, both to Dave, but also to you, and post it on the Chamber's website. Can we do that, please? Because it's a lot of fun to see. Thank you for having me this year. Back to Judy.
Well, we wouldn't be in unincorporated Danville if we didn't have technical issues, would we? So at any rate, I'm so happy that all of you were able to come. Dave, thank you for your service. We will have the video available. We'll send it around to all of you. It'll be on our socials, and it'll be on our website. And I just want to close out by thanking Catherine for being a wonderful moderator. Thanking all of our Tri-Valley Chamber partners. These events would not happen if it were not for the 5 cities coming together. Thanking our mayors. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Very informative and excellent. And on your tables, there is a special card, which is actually up here as well, for our Denim and Diamonds celebration. This is a 75th anniversary for the Danville Area Chamber and our community awards. And as of this morning, there were 83 nominees for the community awards. So we're really excited. We hope you can join us on September 18th in Blackhawk. And with that, we're out. Have a great day, everybody.